Welcome to the Love Secrets Revealed Love Summit. Today, I am honored and extremely happy to have with us Shakti Bottazzi. She is a international certified coach and a modern medicine woman and healer. This woman is a wealth, has so much knowledge and expertise around the world. So her point of view, her wisdom is going to prove to be invaluable for you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome, Shakti. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Natalia. And I love, people may not know, but we're both Argentinians. We're both sisters from the same country of birth, which is a big deal. We're bringing a frequency together from Argentina. Yeah.
I know, it's incredible. I have this huge accent and you have no accent.
No, I do have an accent, but less than you for sure.
Mine is humongous. So why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us how did you get into this line of work that you do? Because what you do is very special and very powerful and so positive. When I listen to your podcasts, I feel hopeful. I feel like, yes, this feels good. I can do this. So how did you get here?
Yeah, well, it started a long time ago. When I was 19, I suffered some major losses in my family, a sister, my dad, and my grandma, all within a year and a half.
Mhm.
And that truly propelled me into a journey of inner quest. Why? Why is this happening? There's got to be some bigger understanding that what I perceive to be the world. And that led me to my first teacher of energy healing, of meditation. And that's when I learned, I was only 19, and I learned that I had the ability to channel, to know things through telepathy or to intuition. And I learned that I had a healing hand. And it was a little bit scary because there was a lot, and I was only 19. And I was like, what do I do with all of this? So that really started a long journey that led me through living life very practically. I'm a mother of two. I'm on my third marriage, which is my soulmate. It's been 16 years of this amazing man by my side. He helped me raise my sons, who I co-created with my second husband. And I also was working in the total 3D world as a very high level executive in multinational corporations. My last formal job was director of Southern Europe and Middle East for Newell Rubbermaid, which is a super big multi-branded corporation in America. And I was in Italy at the time. And while I was in that path, that was a very masculine, grit driven, push pull, I can't do anything. I took time throughout all the years. I was being pulled to the side and taking 10-day retreat to learn energy healing, go with the Navajos for a year and learn, go into Buddhism for 10 years, and I literally learned from curanderas, from South American shamans and medicine men, North American medicine men, Buddhism for like 11 years, Osho for like 15 years. And I have all these worldwide masters and teaching transmissions, and I learned many methods. I'm 61, so this is 42 years of learning. And 11 years ago now, when I was 50, I was very, very powerfully told, you need to drop any distractions and dedicate your life to this, to transmitting that wisdom you've acquired and to becoming that medicine woman yourself, fully embodying that. And it has been one journey of wow since then, because it's a lot easier to sell things that are trinkets. I can sell anything, ice to the Eskimos, but when we're selling ourselves, then
Right.
we learn where the wound is and where we have to go heal. So we can truly be in integrity and purity and authenticity when we help others in their own journey.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that's a great transition into our topic, which is love. You said it's really easy for you to sell trinkets, but when it comes to selling ourselves, everything shows up, everything pops up. And that's similar to what happened when we are searching for love, trying to create and find love, because pretty much we are in a way selling ourselves when we are putting ourselves out.
Agreed.
So, what can you say about that? Um, how can uh, um, how can our viewers to learn how to sell themselves in a way that it feels authentic, it feels calm, it feels grounded, it feels like, oh, this is who I am,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I love that question. So I do want to reframe that word selling ourselves. Just like you said, we sell ourselves our whole life. We're selling ourselves to our boss, to our friends, to our parents, to our like, we're always trying to be that person that we think the other person wants us to be. And actually, I think that that is a little bit um, the expression of our wounding of not feeling fully worthy of being loved just because we are who we are. And we have this idea that we have to work hard to be loved.
Yeah.
And this I call the wound of worthiness. And it shows up in our lives in many different ways. In fact, it's the foundation of the book that I just finished, which is
Oh,
Remembering Her, a Soul Embodiment Journey. And it's the whole journey of what we're talking about. And I think that the point is that when we are able to be in the world with as little sales force as needed, just shining authentically who we are, is when we attract that person that resonates with our authenticity. And it gives us more capability to be fully joyful, because when we are selling a mask or a persona or a role that we think we need to sell, then we attract somebody that responds to that persona. But that persona doesn't really fill our cup of love because it's an actress or an actor, right? So
right.
when we instead are shining authentically, this is who I am with all these quirks. If you love this, then you will love me and I will be fulfilled, because me, I'm this weird, quirky little thing or big thing or whatever, right?
Right.
So self love is about accepting ourselves just the way we are, and about understanding that it is our uniqueness that makes it really interesting.
Right. Right. Yes, people struggle a lot with in the path of finding love with self-love, like you said. So where this comes from, how this difficulty that we have. Well, you mentioned it a little bit from our childhood, from our need to people please. That's what I heard. So what are some practices or some keys that our audience could use and maybe start implementing to really cultivate deep self-love, authentic self?
Mm. I love deep self love as a concept. So, but yeah, let me enhance a little bit more this thing about childhood. So, what happens when we are children and teenagers too, adolescents as well is a very important age. Um, we live our lives, and when we are children, we're as purely authentic as we can be. We're innocent, we have no idea who we are really, we're just being, right, this bubble of joy. And then life happens, our parents happens, whatever lives our soul chose to experience, some really tragic souls and others a little bit less tragic, but still we incorporate these ideas that we cannot be so lively, that we have to stay silent when we would rather speak, that it's better if we don't get seen because when we get seen we get bullied, or all those experiences. And so we begin adapting, reading the outside world and reading or taking the cues of our caregivers and society around us, our friends as we grow up, and we begin interpreting those cues as beliefs. If I speak my mind, I will get hurt and nobody will love me. So I'd rather shut up and pretend that I don't feel that way or that I don't believe that or whatever. And so we create all these adaptations, which are survival strategies. But
Right.
every adaptation is a step away from loving ourselves from who we are. And every strategy that we incorporate to the point that it becomes who we are. We are not even aware that we've incorporated all these strategies. And we also have things that happen to us where because it's painful to not be ourselves, and the pain wants to let us know, hey, I'm here in hiding and I want you to see me and to love me. And we've separated so much from that little child and beautiful human that resides inside of us, then we begin numbing our feelings, and we get strategies of numbing our feelings. For some of us is drugs, from others is alcohol, from others is food, from others is hyper doing. We're always active because if we stop, we have to feel. And so we just do, go, go, go. For others is all kinds of things that we do to just not be in the present moment. So in answer to your question, what can we do to really reclaim those aspects of ourselves that we've abandoned and that are so yearning to be loved and be seen and being able to shine in our lives, and to break that core fake, right? Fake mask or survival mask is the understanding first that thank you for that survival mask, because it allowed us to survive when we were kids or adolescents, teenagers, and we didn't have really the skills to deal with the outside world,
Yeah.
and allowed us to be here now and become the humans that we are. But also the acknowledgement that it is not working anymore. That strategy that brought us here doesn't protect us anymore, because we can't go anymore without being who we are, without claiming that partner, man, woman, whoever, that sees us for who we are and allows us to invite each other to live and express the most beautiful expression of who we can be. And that can only happen in the present. And the present can only be claimed if we can be still, understand that the only way out of the pain is through it, is to see it, acknowledge it, and release it. And sometimes that takes some inner work. It takes work to go inside and reclaim that little child that was left in a corner, the aspects of our soul that were left behind. And with every reclamation that we do of that aspect of ourselves, a bit of that mask falls and more of our true light shines. And how we can do that, there's a journey to do that, a journey of healing, a journey you can do with yourself, realizing those moments where you are escaping and inviting yourself to be in the present moment. There's techniques, meditation, but it doesn't have to be meditation. It could be being in nature barefoot in silence, allowing nature to speak to us, allowing our wild woman to resurface, and reclaiming that willingness to dance and to be under the sun, and to and it could be simply contemplation or joining a group where we can express our art. That could be painting, dancing, sports, whatever that is. It's just about allowing spaces of our true authentic self to begin to become into the surface, and to really, when the pain comes, because we maybe didn't allow this a lot, just to release that. Sometimes cry it out and allow those tears to fall. Don't get stuck in that pain. I can tell you that in that journey for me, so many times I had tears for that part of me that I didn't let shine when I was younger. And I learned this compassion for that aspect of me, and that I did the best I could.
Right.
Now I'm here and I claim that, and I'm moving through life with this joy and this um, unapologetical expression of who I am. And I do understand that if you like me, it's on you. And if you don't like me, it's on you. Neither the you don't liking me will pull me down, nor you liking me will make me feel great. I
Right.
know who I am. I know I shine bright, and I know I'll be a mirror to you, whatever you're ready to see. And if you're seeing your darkness and you can't love yourself, that's what you will see. And if you're seeing your light, you will see that. And others will see that too. And that's how you can call in that partner, that soul partner.
Oh my God. Everything you said, I could say so many things, but I'm going to pick one thing. I love what you said about if you like me, it's on you. And if you don't like me, it's on you. And I think if women could go on dates with this mindset,
Yes.
it would be so amazing. But it's not as simple as it sounds, because if you like me, it's on you. That's a big ego kill.
Yes.
The reason why sometimes we suffer so much when we are rejected or ghosted, or it's because it's completely attached to our ego. It's like, oh,
Yep.
if he doesn't like me, it's on me. If he likes me, it's on me. So
Right.
the opposite is a high. But if we can just drop down to the truth and know that people will like us or not because it's on them. It's like,
Yes.
you and I understand coming from Argentina how they say people are going to talk about you. You doing things or not doing. There are certain people that are going to talk about you.
Oh
It's
my goodness, I love that. I lived in Italy for 20 years, and they say the exact same thing. No matter what you do and who you be, they're going to talk about you.
and it's the same thing with dating. So if we are not our true selves, the cost is huge.
Huge.
That's what sometimes we don't understand. It's costing us to be really who we are in a world where it's not under our control to tell if a man is going to fall in love with us or not. It's so
And how much energy do we put into trying to fit a mold that is not us, and that therefore you will never fit because you're not that? You're trying and you're putting so much energy and effort, and how much easier it is when you relax into who you are and you're just flowing with who you are and being who you are. And those that will love you are the exact people that are meant to be with you because they love you with all your quirkiness.
right. I just love that. I just love that. That was genius. And yes, the way we numb ourselves. I know you have stories about that. I have stories about that. My first love was an older man, and I just he totally pursued me, and I was 14. I was so young, in the middle of nowhere, and he had a girlfriend. But I just, he won me over. And when things started to get real and I started to realize in the mess I was, I developed an eating disorder.
Oh,
I just, but you know what? Like you, if I hadn't got into that, I wouldn't have gotten into studying psychology, studying, Eastern philosophies. I wouldn't be where I am today.
the path that opened to your mastery.
Right. And it's exactly the same with you. I know you have been through tremendous amount of pain with the loss of your family, with one of your one of your husbands. You are like an actress now. You had so many husbands. Like Elizabeth Taylor, the Argentinian Elizabeth Taylor.
I have one of each culture I've lived in. One Argentine ex, one American ex, and now one Italian. It's here to stay.
Okay, so talking about something lighter, let's go there. Let's go there if you allow me to. So, are they different? You know how they are all stereotyped? Like Argentinians are, I don't know, Italians are macho men, maybe, and very romantic. I don't know. And Americans are like more like cold in a way, more.
I can tell you that my first husband so first of all, I want to explain that for all of us, and this certainly was my case, we attract like a magnet, right? So if we are concave, we attract this, right?
Okay.
We are this, we attract this, right? We attract who we are. And so when I was very much into my masculine energy when I was younger, I attracted a very feminine man. And eventually that didn't work. And then the second time, I was totally into my wounding. I thought I was not going to be a mother. I
Mhm.
was into playing the same dynamic my mother and I played in life, where she was narcissistic, emotionally abused, and I chose the emotional abuse husband. And
Mhm.
that was my biggest master. And we created two amazing sons with him. And then when I was able to free myself from all of that, I was on my own for 3 years doing deep healing. And that's when I finally attracted my third husband, who is my soulmate. We recognized our souls. He ended up being father to my children. And the journey was beautiful. He's the Italian one. And in the scheme of things, the first and the third, in terms of how they are, they're grounded, they're loving, they're all encompassing and accepting of who I am. They're so similar. In fact, they're really good friends nowadays. I'm still very good friends with that same husband who happens to live in the US, and we are in the US. And the US husband lives in Europe. It was so funny. And he was completely different, and he was very, very emotionally abusive. And the more he abused, the more I did trying to be loved, and the more he became a monster, and the more I became a victim. And it was such an interesting journey, and so much wisdom came from it, and I learned so much. And I am so aware that I had to go through the whole journey to be fully who I am, and to be able to love so fully, and to be able to receive that intense and full love of my current partner.
Yeah.
So the journeys we've been on, the journeys of heartbreaking we've been on, are our best teachers too. So don't reject them, claim them. Look at how did that happen for you. Life always is happening for us, no matter how terrible it is what we think that is, whatever that's happening, right? So the question, what I always say is, get curious. Why? How is this happening for me? Not why, because why we may never know, but how. So if this seems so terrible, what is the gift in this that is happening? In that heartbreaking relationship that I had, what did I learn about myself that I like or that I didn't like? Can I change that? Is that a behavior? Behaviors we can change. The whole point is that who we are, we cannot change. It's our essence. But our behavior, we can adapt and change and learn. If behaving in a certain way, like I behaved like a victim, wasn't working, then what do I need to do to not behave like a victim? I need to understand what's happening for me, and then knowing that I'm worth of being loved, and therefore I'm not a victim, and I choose a boundary. If you love me or if you don't love me, or if I want you to be in my world or I don't want you to be in my world, and then you claim your power back.
Right. Right. I love it. I love it. And that was one of the questions I had for you, about exactly what you said about energy frequencies, and how do we change those energetic frequencies. You mentioned you took 3 years to heal.
Well, I took so many more, but those beginning three, yes. Yeah. Let's not say I didn't take 3 years to heal.
Yes,
I've been
yes.
healing since when I had those losses in my family. I started with that first teacher I mentioned earlier. And then I also went to therapy for many years. And then I went to therapy as couples therapy. And then I went, so regular therapy, shamans, medicine women, all kind. I mean, I did so much, and still I'm doing. It's not over. It'll never be, because we are keep expanding. But there is a point where we get to be able to feel beautifully comfortable in our skin. And
Right.
so the healing we're doing after that is more about being able to shine brighter, being able to serve with our life, being able to be of service to the world. We reach that place where we filled our needs as an individual, and we're ready to give back. And so the healing then takes another layer of healing, right?
Right.
But those first 3 years allowed me to attract this man. And I want to give an example, which I'm sure you can relate, and at least half the audience will relate.
Love
And
it.
it's that, as you can probably see, I have a lot of fire in me. And as such, I'm very outgoing. I always have been. And when I met Stefano, my current husband, he was taking a lot of time to decide if I was the one he wanted to have a relationship with or not. He's 5 years younger than I am. He comes from a smaller medieval town in Italy. Here I was an international woman, divorced, 2 children, older, and all these things. So he was really thinking it through, because even though we had great liking of each other, and we had great, every time we spoke, time flew. He was like, if I commit to this relationship and then it explodes badly, she lives in the same tiny little town, and it's going to be messy. And do I really want to go there? And so he was going through his own journey. And I thought a couple of times, maybe I'll just invite him and tell him, and I'll go and be the one saying, hey, And what I had learned was, no, my feminine side that I have now befriended wants to be claimed. I'm not being racist. I'm being authentic. A woman wants their man to claim them. I wanted him to claim me. And I thought, can I go and say, hey, let's go out. I'd love to be with you. Let's go to bed together, whatever, have sex. I would never know if he really would have wanted to claim me. And I said, this time around, I want to stay still. If he wants to claim me, then I will know for sure. And I became the softer, receptive woman. I waited, and he did claim me. And that created an amazing release of energy that was beautiful in our relationship. And it's been a formatting of our relationship. He is the man. That doesn't mean that at times I'm the stronger one and then he is. We've been together 16 years and we've confronted all kinds of crap. So we go like this. But there's an understanding that he is the man, I'm the woman. And I know this to be true also in same-sex relationships. There's still those energetics. So this is for everybody, not just for a man and a woman. It's about that masculinity or femininity, either that you're gay or you're heterosexual. It's the exact same lesson.
I love it. Good for you. I'm so happy you did that. That's great. That's great. So, oh my goodness, that's fabulous. So, I could keep talking with you forever, but we are already almost at 30 minutes. So, there is anything you would like to say to the audience? And I also know you have a gift for them. If you would like to talk a little bit about your gift.
Yes, on my website, there's 3 actually gifts you can claim. One is 2 are meditations, one to talk to your own guidance, one to align yourself with everyday life. And one is particularly useful if you want to go more into that connection with yourself. And it's a handout about how to do that with a lot of explanation. And you just go to my website, it says gifts, and you can download them all or one or whatever works for you.
Awesome. The link is going to be on the description box of this video and on your email, the email you got. So thank you so much for visiting us and sharing your wisdom with us. And thank you to all the viewers. Please go ahead and click on that link. Shakti has a book coming up in like in a month or so. So if you click on her link, you are also going to receive a notice when the book is available for you to get. I can't wait myself. I hope I'm the #1 buyer. Shakti is fabulous. I invite you to really type your name on Google and listen to all the interviews. She's fabulous, and really it will take a year to really get all out of her. More than a year. Years and years and years. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Thank you for having me, Natalia. It was so fun. I mean, I love playing with you.
Oh, thank you. So